Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, the 7th day of January. Today is National Bobblehead Day.
Aww.
It's also National Tempura Day. Isn't that a kind of fish?
I have no
I'm pretty
idea
sure that's
what
a fish.
tempura
and it's,
is.
Thank God it's Monday Day as well today. So all of that going on. And we've got a guest joining us on the program. We're going to talk with Steve Smith. It's a Movie Star Monday. Do you know who that is? It's RedGreen.
RedGreen.
Heidi was making fun of me because I thought that was really who he was, RedGreen. She's like, it's a character. You didn't know that? I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not a real person.
You might not find me handsome, but you're definitely going to find me handy. I love that. I love RedGreen. That wasn't a very bad RedGreen impression. Didn't know I could do a RedGreen impression. Maybe it wasn't so good. Sounded good to me. We've got RedGreen coming up on the program. Super excited to chat with him. That is coming up here before you know it on the John and Heidi Show for a Movie Star Monday.
Want a good laugh to start every day? We do, and you can too. Be sure to follow WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com on Facebook. Every morning we send out our Weird Gift of the Day. You don't even have to buy anything. You can just follow our page and laugh at the bizarre real gift items we find and share every morning. And maybe you can share them with your friends who have a good sense of humor too. We have a link to make it easy to find us at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Time now for a new feature called Surveys, Studies, and Such. How about this study right here, Heidi? A new study found 40% of millennials feel more attracted to their online community than they do to their real-life surroundings. So, like they...
Well, I'm sure they do. They're coddled on their online community.
And here's the thing you got to understand. It's not just them. It's every generation. And I don't know if the study even looked at other generations, but I can tell you this. There are people who I know online better than I know them in person. There are people who I'm friends with on Facebook that I barely know in real life. And then when I do see them in real life, I'm like, well, I know everything that's going on in your life, so now what do we talk about? You know? So think about that. If you know I know what you had for dinner last night. I know what you're up to. I know every single thing you're doing because it's all posted online. What would you talk to somebody about then, really, when you think about it? So I get it. New study said 40% of millennials feel more attracted to their online community than they do, or more attached, rather, to their online community than their real-life surroundings. So this is today's surveys, studies, and such.
Cable and dish companies keep jacking up their rates. Join the cable cutting revolution with ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch TV with no monthly fee. Our DVR lets you record shows and pause live TV with no monthly fee. Want to stream movies? We have a device for that too. It works with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and many other streaming platforms, so you can cut the cable and save a ton of money every month. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police say a trio of teens in Florida, including a pair of brothers, robbed a man at gunpoint after setting up a transaction for a $120 vaping device on Snapchat. Do they buy and sell stuff on Snapchat? Is that what?
I don't know. I don't use Snapchat.
I don't either. I'm trying to still get used to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, so I'm not on anymore. Victim told the Cape Coral police there that he arranged to buy a vape pen through Snapchat and a third party and agreed to meet the seller in front of his home. The victim hopped into a minivan, then pulled up with the driver, who was identified as a 16-year-old Tristan Held, pointed a gun at him and demanded his wallet and his phone. Passengers in the back seat, 16-year-old Ernesto Hernandez, pulled a gun and aimed it at the man as well, who immediately turned over his cash and his wallet before running back inside and dialing 911. The teens were later pulled over and positively ID'd as the suspects who had just robbed the man at gunpoint. Other handguns and an unspecified amount of cash were inside the minivan. Where are the drugs? What in the world? Why did I have this here? I thought this was a drug story.
I don't know.
It's got a vaping pen. I don't know. Apparently that's what I saw. I apologize. This apparently is not what happens when your brain is on drugs. It's just when you're an idiot. There you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Ariana Grande tweeted that she's not going to date anyone ever again. This coming from the same person who was dating
until
Pete
next
Davidson
week.
for like a week, and then they got engaged.
Yeah,
and then they
she's-
changed their mind.
Whatever.
So here, Ariana, maybe think it through before you say, never doing that. I can tell you, the day that I met you, earlier that day, I said, I'm never
You
getting
said
married.
that. Yes, you
never
did.
getting married again. Said it.
3
And
months
then
later?
God has a great little sense of humor. He's like, oh, really? You think that you're in charge of this stuff, John? No, you're not quite. Then he introduced me to the woman of my dreams, and here she is. What? I have big dreams.
The woman of
The
your
woman of my dreams. That's you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's move on to this one. Kobe Bryant and his wife Vanessa are expecting baby number 4. So,
Oh, that's nice.
congratulations. There we go. Gonna have to get them something for a baby shower.
Oh, yeah,
gift.
we totally will have to do that.
Have they reached out to you yet to invite you?
No.
No,
No.
probably not. This has been your Big Screen, Little Screen report brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. My wife is yawning over here. You're going to make me
I'm
yawn.
sorry. I'm so tired.
Everything all right over there?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm
All
good.
right. A study by the United Van Lines found that more people moved out of the state of New Jersey than any other state last year. So the state that had people leaving the most was New Jersey. Which one do you think was the state that attracted the most? Where do you think most people moved into?
I don't know.
Oregon. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Really?
Most popular inbound state, Oregon. The most popular inbound state on the East Coast was Vermont. So people were flooding to Vermont.
I
as
never
they
would
left
have guessed
New Jersey. I would have
Oregon.
thought that it would have been a warm state like a Florida or an
Yeah.
Arizona, but I would have been wrong.
Huh.
Los Angeles rolled out their first ever earthquake warning app. It'll give residents a 10-second notice to take cover and hold on as an earthquake is coming.
Oh,
That's a cool idea.
huh.
Usually you
Wonder
find
how
out.
accurate that is.
Well, it's feeling seismic vibrations, and if it notifies you that there's something coming or something that's happening, you'll get that notification before anything major happens. It's a great idea. A Louisiana man was arrested on New Year's Day after he declared that January 2nd was, quote, Kill Cops Day, end quote.
Whoa.
Thank goodness he was arrested. That is a terrible idea. Why
Whoa.
in the world would you even say that? So, bad plan there.
Don't let that guy out.
No, not for a long time. Chinese spacecraft made their first ever landing on the dark side of the moon last week, and they snapped some photos. You know what's over there?
A whole lot of nothing.
Nothing, and a bunch of shadows.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing really going on over here. Okay, let's head back to Earth now. So, I don't know. I'm not sure what they were expecting to find. And we're going to spend a little bit of time on this because I think this is actually kind of interesting. EduBirdie, never heard of them before. It's the #1 proofreading platform. They surveyed students on the most outlandish excuses they've ever given for missing homework in the last year. And they compiled a list of the top 10 most outrageous excuses. So tell me if you've ever done any of these. Why didn't you do your homework? My dog peed on my homework.
Okay.
Number 9 on the list. The assignment was on my computer and I accidentally ran my computer over with my car. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 8. I got over my candle. What? I knocked over my candle and set my homework on fire. Okay. Number 7. I got food poisoning and couldn't leave the bathroom for 2 days. Number 6. I was getting rid of old assignments and accidentally shredded it.
Yeah, all of these are pretty lame excuses.
Print another one then. Number 5. I had to get my eyes dilated so my vision was too blurred to see my homework. Number 4. My cat was in labor with 6 kittens. What?
What does that have to do with your homework?
No. Number 3. My elderly neighbor was having car troubles, so I had to take her to run errands.
All night long?
Apparently. Number 2. These are excuses that were used last year as to why your homework was not done. On my way to class, a guy ran up to me and stole my backpack, and it had my homework in it. And the number 1 answer,
Okay.
this is apparently the most outrageous thing ever that happened as far as why is your homework not done. When I was doing my homework, my computer started smoking, and I thought it was going to explode, so I couldn't finish my homework. Your computer started smoking one day. Remember that?
I do remember that. I was like, what's going on?
There's smoke coming out of her monitor, and then it just went dark. I'm like, I'm going to unplug that. Don't know what's going on, but
It's a good thing we were down here.
yeah, no kidding. That could be really bad. So there you go. That's the top 10 list of excuses for homework not being done. Our daughter just had to redo some homework, and I said, why didn't she get it done? And then she said, well, I got it done, but the teacher lost it, so I had to redo it.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
That should be an automatic A.
It's like, wait a minute.
Because it's
Are you telling me-
you fail if you lost it, so you should get an A when the
I think it's
teacher
interesting.
loses it.
The teacher. So, teacher, you're telling me your dog ate my homework? Doesn't quite seem right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
At FunkyMonkeyShirts.com, we want to remind you it's never too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day. And what says I love you better than awesome, matching fun t-shirts? Get something for your sweetie and for you. We have several his and hers t-shirt designs to choose from at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Let the world know how much you love one another. And wear your heart on your sleeve. Well, at least on your shirt. With a little help from FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I've got a guest joining me right now that I just discovered that he is who he is, but he's also not who he is. I thought I was doing an interview with Red Green, which we will be, but we're also going to be talking to Steve Smith. So we'll start with Steve. How are you, sir?
I'm really well, John. Nice to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to visit with you. Now, I've been watching the Red Green Show for years, and I just discovered when we were getting ready to do this phone call that Red Green is kind of a character that you do. Steve Smith as a person. How long have you been involved in doing television programs and movies and things like that?
Oh, my gosh. I started in TV in about 1978, so that's a long time ago.
And along the way, the character Red Green, when did this come up and how did this come up?
Well, I was doing a television show with my wife in the late 70s, and kind of like a Sonny and Cher type thing, so I would do these little 1 or 2 minute little character things. And there was a guy who had a fishing show in Canada. His name was Red Fisher. And I would watch that. It seemed to me he had the attitude that nothing would bore you. Like, it was his job to fill the half hour. It was your job to make it interesting. So I created the Red Green character in about 1979, probably, to making fun of him. And then in about 1990, I expanded that character into a television series, which ran for 15 years, and we did a feature film. And I mean, it's supposed to be a summer job in 1990. It's an endless summer.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a fun program to watch, and whether you're in Canada or if you're in the United States, I think it translates anywhere in the world because there are people like that all over the place, aren't there?
Oh, there sure are. I do quite a bit of traveling. For the last few years, I've been doing these one-man shows, and I go from Florida to Alaska, and I just keep meeting the same guy. They're everywhere.
Now, the thing that's really interesting is you guys have the lodge that you go to all the time. Is there really a lodge somewhere that people can go to, or does that not really exist?
Well, it exists in people's minds. I mean, there was a place in Vermont where I shot the outside exterior shots of the lodge, and those are the ones that we use in the show, but I'm not sure even that's there anymore. Maybe one day somebody will turn it into a theme park or something.
I always thought that would be really kind of fun to go check out the lodge. And now, the different characters that are in the show, all of like your nephew and all the other people, how long have you known them, and how did they come about being a part of the program with you on the Red Green Show?
Well, Canada, we don't have a lot of people. We have the same population as California, so when you're going to do a show and you're going to use people, you don't have a lot to choose from. So what I did was I just used my friends who were they were actors and good actors, but I just started with a group of friends, and then we based the character on the guys that we had rather than create the characters and then try to find actors who can do them. So it was a real tight-knit community, and I can tell you, John, in 15 seasons of working with those guys, I can't remember an argument or a fight or a hissy fit. It was just a great feeling. We all had a lot of fun.
Well, and you could tell when you watch the program that you guys have a lot of fun doing what you're doing, and you learn a little something on every program as well. Not always something you want to implement in your real life, though, right?
We're the guinea pig. We're the test dummies, We can show you what not to do.
So now I'm going to visit with Red Green for a moment here because I don't know what the difference is because, I know that you're the same guy, but as the character Red Green, when I visit with you, what kind of things change in your personality, and how different is Red Green from Steve?
Well, I can tell you that all of Red Green is in Steve Smith, but there's parts of Steve Smith that aren't in Red Green. So, I created the character. I was always the head writer. These one-man shows that I do, I write the whole thing. So, believe me, Red Green is an integral part of my personality. It's just he's a little freer. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't seem to have any responsibility, and he has no doubts. That's his biggest feature.
Well, and he seems to have a lot of toys, not always the nicest toys, but he's got a lot of fun toys to play with around the lodge too, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, lots of K cars.
So now, one of my son and I have watched this program together. One of his favorite episodes, and he's mentioned this numerous times when you were talking about. I'm trying to think of what it was. You were working on a car. And they were saying, they say that's impossible, but they also say it was impossible to make a school bus amphibious and flight-worthy. That has come up in our conversation so many times. Is that something that you wrote? Is that a bit that you put together?
You know, it was so many, I couldn't tell you. I mean, we would do, 800, 900 pages of script a season and multiply that by 15. It's a lot of words, but the attitude definitely fits. I like oddball stuff, and like Red would say, old man Sedgwick had an extra pair of hearing aids, so he put them on his dog. I said to him, was the dog deaf? He said, no, but it makes him think twice about barking. I just like...
I love it.
In the early days, we used to promote the show by saying, when you've already wasted your whole life, what's another half hour? I just enjoy that oddball stuff.
I do too. I think that is fantastic. So now, what does Red Green think of technology with the internet and all the things where now people are even sharing this online? What does Red Green think of that?
Well, I'll tell you something, John. The funny thing is, people all over the world can watch anything going on all over the world on their phone or on their thumbnail or on that funny-looking toe they have. But when it comes to live performance, you're either in the room or you're not. So we're still back where we were 500 years ago. You want to be in the room, breathing the air, and feeling the vibe.
That's awesome. I agree completely. And speaking of being in the room, you're going to be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You're doing this tour. You're going to be coming right here to Sioux Falls. I'm certainly excited to be there. We're going to come and watch the show. How long have you been doing the tour, and what kind of things are people going to have in store when they come and watch you in Sioux Falls here?
Well, John, this is my fourth one-man show tour, and every one is completely different. It's not like the music business. When you're trying to make people laugh, you can't do your greatest hits. So the first one was kind of like a recap of the show. The second one was the whole handyman stuff, how to do everything, it was called. My third one was kind of biographical. I talked about growing up and meeting girls and all that stuff. This one is kind of like it's a bit of the end of the road, got a feeling to it. It's called This Could Be It, and this really could be it. So I'm trying to get everything wound up, tied up, and kind of my last words sort of in this thing, because this might be the end of the ride.
Well, I doubt that, because you've got a lot of fans out there all over the place and absolutely love Red Green. And are there other projects that you're working on that we're going to be able to see in the near future as well?
Well, I've got some in this new show. I put a new thing, a safe way to travel with your wife in the car without having arguments and so on. I don't want to give it away, but it involves turning the passenger seat and facing the other way. And I've also got a single-serving popcorn maker that I'm pretty proud of. So you'll see that if you come to the show.
Well, I'm excited for that. We're going to definitely see it at the show, and I'm super excited to have you here in Sioux Falls. And the concert, or I shouldn't say concert, but this show is on tour all over the country. If people want to get tickets, is there a place online they can find those?
RedGreen.com. It's all there, U.S. and Canada. I think it's about 60 shows altogether.
RedGreen.com, and you can find all the information there. We're going to make it really simple to find the details as well. We'll throw a link in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. And again, Red, thank you so much. And Steve, I guess, Steve, thank you very much for taking the time to chat. It was a lot of fun to visit, and I learned something new. I thought you were Red Green, so that's kind of cool.
Well, he's in there somewhere. Thanks a lot, John.
Absolutely. Again, Steve Smith has been our guest, and he is Red Green. Is probably how you know him, as how I know him for sure. I'm going to throw all the information about his tour that he's doing so you can see if he's going to be in your neighborhood, redgreen.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll have a link to that in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
Cable and dish companies keep jacking up their rates. Join the cable cutting revolution with ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch TV with no monthly fee. Our DVR lets you record shows and pause live TV with no monthly fee. Want to stream movies? We have a device for that too. It works with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and many other streaming platforms, so you can cut the cable and save a ton of money every month. Learn more at ChannelSurferTV.com. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In an effort to avoid recapture, a convicted bank robber by the name of Robert Allen Litchfield underwent plastic surgery so he would look like Robert De Niro. He escaped in 1989 from Fort Leavenworth. He was serving a 140-year term. When you're there for 140 years and you have the chance to escape, I suppose you probably take that.
Probably.
'Cause you're not going to be around 140 years from now. Don't escape from prison. That's a bad idea. I was just being silly. And I also want to say, if you were going to change your appearance, why would you want to look like Robert De Niro? Not that he's a bad-looking guy. He's a good-looking guy, but there's already someone that looks like that. And you're going to draw more attention to yourself.
Yeah, he's pretty recognizable,
yeah,
dude.
It's like, wait a minute. Are you Robert De Niro? No, I'm actually Robert Allen Litchfield. I escaped from prison, and this is my new look. So clearly they found out, or we wouldn't have this fun fact. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
At FunkyMonkeyShirts.com, we want to remind you it's never too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day. And what says, I love you, better than awesome, matching fun t-shirts? Get something for your sweetie and for you. We have several his and hers t-shirt designs to choose from at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Let the world know how much you love one another. And wear your heart on your sleeve. Well, at least on your shirt. With a little help from FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Time now for Fear This. Fun with phobias. Ready to guess this phobia, Heidi? You might get
Absolutely.
this one. I think you might actually get this one. Noctophobia. 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 What do you think that is? Noctophobia.
Fear of night?
Yeah, exactly. Fear of the night.
Ha!
Nocturnal. Noctophobia. Do you know anybody that has noctophobia?
No?
Wouldn't that be awful? Because it's going to happen every 24-hour cycle. It just, sun's up, sun's down, sun's up, sun's down, all the time. So night is going to return every single night.
Our nephew, I guess, does. He
Does he
doesn't
really?
sleep alone and insists on
Well,
going
but
into
he's
mom's
3.
room.
I don't
Well,
think.
still, it's a fear.
I don't think you diagnose it at 3. He's 3.
I'm not saying he's going to have it forever.
Doctor,
I'm
does he
saying he
have-
has it now.
Does he have noctophobia? No, he's 3. Take him home. Get him a teddy bear. Noctophobia, the fear of nights. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Want a good laugh to start every day? We do, and you can too. Be sure to follow WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com on Facebook. Every morning we send out our Weird Gift of the Day. You don't even have to buy anything. You can just follow our page and laugh at the bizarre real gift items we find and share every morning. And maybe you can share them with your friends who have a good sense of humor too. We have a link to make it easy to find us at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news for you, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. And our weird gift for today are glitter pills. You take these glitter pills, and then let's just say you have a very colorful toilet with glitter. It's a bad idea.
I think it's fantastic.
It's not a good idea. A Maine man, by the way, that's from WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Maine man is facing a number of charges after authorities said he broke into a Waterboro home, grabbed a bite to eat, took a shower, and then got a car ride from the person who lives in the house back.
What?
Yeah. 35-year-old Derek Tarbox was arrested facing charges. Here's what happens. The guy that lives there came home, and when he got there, he said, I am so sorry. I thought I was in my friend's house. I'm really sorry. And the guy said, well, this is my house. So he drove him home to, maybe it wasn't his home, drove him somewhere to a different town, to a different place. It was his relative's house. And that's when the victim got home and realized, wait, you didn't just walk in. My door wasn't unlocked. You kicked in the back door. You rummaged through my stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
And he called the police. But he had given the dude a ride.
Well, at least he knew right where the guy was, where he dropped him off.
Yeah,
So
that could have been today's moment of duh instead, because that was kind of silly.
Creepers.
I would have said, drop me off at a Wendy's or something. I mean, it's just a bad plan. Okay, this has been today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, courtesy of FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Police say a Dallas man spent Christmas Eve attempting to carjack drivers at gunpoint, demanding that they take him to get some tacos. What? 26-year-old Roberto A. Canmar Garcia. He was arrested on 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of aggravated kidnapping. So I always think it's funny. We had a comedian. Was it Brian Regan that talked about aggravated assault?
Yes.
It was like,
of course it was.
So he was talking about how he just assaulted me. He was angry while he did it.
I love Brian. Have I ever mentioned on the
You
show
have,
before?
many times.
That I love Brian
Anyway,
Regan.
this guy, Mr. Garza, he, for whatever reason, was trying to get somebody to pick him up to take him to get tacos, and someone did. A man, fearing for his life, picked him up, and he dropped Garza off at a tire shop and drove away. He followed another man around with a gun, and he was trying to get him to take him to buy tacos. This commotion happened until the police showed up, and they arrested him at 1:30 p.m. So this wasn't even in the middle of the night. He wasn't even drunk or anything. He just wanted some tacos. So there you go. Very bizarre story. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This is definitely today's moment of duh.
Every day, approximately 23 U.S. military veterans take their own lives. Big Paws Canine Foundation is helping to decrease that number, providing service and companion dogs to our disabled veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Partnering a hero with a specifically trained dog significantly reduces the incidence of suicide, and your support makes all the difference. Find out how you can help our American heroes. Join the pack at BigPawsCanine.com.
Time now for the dad joke of the day. Heidi, you ready for this one?
I guess so.
Okay, buckle up, Buttercup.
Do I have much of a choice?
No, you don't. Really. Secret Service is not allowed to yell "get down" anymore. When the president is about to be attacked, now they have to yell, "Donald, duck!"
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. These are not necessarily good jokes, but they are dad jokes.
They are jokes.
Thank you for submitting your dad joke. If you've got a good one, you can send it to dadjokes@johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. And our good news today, I have a headline here. Headline says, donations pour in for sick boy after dad jokingly responds to an accidental text. And this is one of the most viral stories of 2010. Do you remember this?
No.
I don't either. Or not 2010. What year did we
I was going to say,
finish?
this is a really old one.
2018.
Yeah, we just finished.
How in the world did I get to
I have
2010?
no idea.
I don't know. After a father gave a good-natured response to a text from a wrong number, donations started pouring in for his son's cancer treatment. It all started when a woman named Sid accidentally texted Tony Wood with a picture of herself wearing an evening gown in a department store. Wood, who's the father of 6 kids in Spring Hill, Tennessee, responded to the photos by saying, "I believe this message was intended for someone else. My wife isn't home, so I couldn't get her opinion, but the kids and I think you look stunning in your dress. You should definitely go with that one." So,
oh, that was sweet.
It says not only that, but he also sent photos of he and the kids with a reassuring thumbs up. Sid's friends, Mandy Miller, posted the exchange on Twitter, where it immediately went viral. Shortly after Miller posted the photos, social media users found that 2 people missing from the photos were the son and the mother. And the son is having chemo treatments.
Oh.
He has leukemia, a kind of cancer that affects blood and
My
bone marrow.
gosh, that's...
For the last 26 months, Wood family has been trying to raise funds for chemo treatments, and because of this viral post, thousands of people donated, but it was 19,000 donations that came in. $19,000 rather, that came in because of this. How cool is that? That's really cool. All because somebody sent him a text to the wrong number. Heidi loves getting those, by the way.
Oh, I love getting wrong
She'll
number
get a text,
texts.
and then she'll talk to
Oh,
people.
my
Some
gosh,
of them
I
for a
love
long
it.
time. Have you ever met any of the people that you sent texts to?
No.
This is probably a good thing, really. Some of the stuff you're doing. She's just being silly. But I think it's really, what a cool story. I've got a link to this story if you'd like to read it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.